You know, guys, so many people waking up this morning impacted from Francine without power. Some have flooding issues. Others, well, they're in shelters because they're still recovering from Hurricane Ida, which was 3 years ago. Let's start with the live view this morning. This is a live view from our West Bank camera overlooking portions of, I believe this is the West Bank, and out here is parts of Uptown. But you can see there is still a little bit of light rain over parts of the area this morning. But for the most part, we are done with the heavy rain. No flooding in the forecast. We do still have tropical storm warnings for a large part of the area. The metro, the river parishes, all the way down into Lafourche and the North Shore and Mississippi, all under that tropical storm warning, as we are still seeing occasionally some strong wind gusts. Now, that's where the center of Francine is as of 4 a.m. this morning. That advisory showing that the storm is moving at 12 miles per hour. So what happened here was the storm was moving inland and it started to slow down, do some wobbles. That's why flooding was so bad right here in the metro. And then heavy rain moved onshore on the North Shore during the overnight hours. And now we've got the rain out of here. So all that rain is really on the outskirts of our area, and we are done with anything that's going to cause us more problems. Still some water standing, still not good conditions to be out on the roads though. Here's the track of it, taking it up through Jackson, Mississippi today into Memphis. You can see that rain is all on the north side of this system. That will continue to lift to the north and on out of here. Winds are still gusty. We're gusting to 33 in Slidell, 32 at the lakefront, 26 in Kenner. Finally seeing some relief down here at the bayou parishes, but Leah was just standing outside and you could hear those winds still whipping around every now and then, but certainly not anywhere near what we saw yesterday as Francine blew through. Now the storm, it is still producing some wind surge or some storm surge thanks to those winds. Right now, you can see our coastal areas, big improvements, no major surge anymore, just some minor inundation. But the North Shore here, 4 to 6 feet is still a possibility through this morning. 4 to 6 feet in Bay St. Louis to Biloxi, and then 3 to 5 feet over in Jackson County. I was just looking at some of our latest numbers here. The lake has about 3 to 4 foot of storm surge in it right now. Bay St. Louis has about 4 to 5 feet, but the good news is we've already gotten to high tide in some locations, so it's as high as it's going to be, and it will start to drop off. So high tide is happening this morning. Low tide will happen later on this afternoon. Not good weather to be out on the boat just yet. If you do want to try to get that boat back into the dock, or you're trying to get it out on the water or get your maybe traps. I know a lot of people were pulling those up in St. Bernard the other day. Probably not good conditions today. It's still a bit choppy with those strong winds, and we still have seas up to 11 to 10 feet for our buoys. That's at least what they're recording out here in the Gulf waters right now. Eventually, though, we'll start to see these calmer waters like you see off the Texas coast. Our calmer waters will start to build in as we head into the end of the week. By the way, the rivers are all rising on the North Shore. No surprise there. Right now, the only river that's expected to be in a moderate flood stage, that's the highest level right now that we've got, is the Bogafalaya. The Tangipahoa River, the Boguchita, and the Chafuncta are expected to rise. They are in flood stage, and they will crest later on today. So today and tomorrow, rivers will be swollen. They should all begin to decrease into the weekend here. And the great news is the weekend forecast is looking quite phenomenal for what we've gotten and what we've had. So a few showers possible today, breezy at times. Tomorrow and Saturday, that low humidity is coming in behind Francine, so it will really start to feel quite nice. We'll have those temperatures in the upper 80s in the afternoon, so it will be warm if you don't have power. But those overnight hours, if you can open up the windows, I think you'll have a little bit of a breeze coming in, especially tonight, and that humidity is low enough that it won't be miserable. We're not talking about heat index numbers staying in the 90s through the overnight hours. And then next week, much of the same. No big weather in the forecast to watch out for. Our marine forecast, once again, today is not going to be the best weather, especially this morning. This afternoon, those winds will still settle some. You can see our seas will remain choppy, though, and the lakes will remain choppy. And then as we get into Friday, much improved. West winds at 5 to 10 knots. That is not a bad deal at all. And you've got smooth conditions on the lake on Friday, so should be okay weather to get things back to normal for our boaters. Your high tide, once again, is this morning. That's when our surge will be highest right now across the Mississippi coast and on the North Shore. And then your low tide, that's going to happen as we head into the afternoon and into the evening. It is 4:56, not wanting a lot of people to be out there on the roads, but we know some of you have to. Let's get a check of what Josh Wadaush is tracking right now.
All right, so As we're dealing with the fallout and cleanup from Francine, our biggest issue, the Causeway Bridge is still closed due to high winds. Lakeshore Drive also closed for high water between West End and Dowman. Also seeing widespread flooding out in Kenner. Definitely want to stay off the roads in that scenario. You really can't get on the roads through much of Kenner at the moment. And we're looking also at some street flooding, still closing typical low places, the Carrollton I-10 underpass and the I-10 off-ramp eastbound and going to Dowman. Neutral ground parking goes until 6 p.m. tonight. Also, widespread power outage, over 300,000 customers without power. That's affecting a lot of the traffic signals, so that on top of the debris out on the roads, you want to stay away from them. All RTA, bus, streetcar, and ferry service suspended. But if you have to be out, I-10, all the interstates and river crossings are moving fine.